Moza R9 or Fanatec CSL DD. About to do a little video comparison. Stay tuned. Before we get started, I think it's pretty easy to tell that Moza directly targeted Fanatec with its ecosystem and kind of where they were going with it. Moza's ecosystem is solid, and that's what I went with. But a small part of me will always feel like, what if I went with the Fanatec stuff? So with that out the way, we can do a direct comparison. I've had the Moza for maybe 2 months now, and I'm absolutely loving it. Interesting comparison to me was Josh saying that the R9 felt more like a mini DD1, while as this is just ultra smooth. And Fanatec, they got a lot going on over the past week and a half, 2 weeks. They've announced a new mid-range direct drive wheel, which is based on this and not based on the DD1. I think they're capitalizing on people loving how smooth this is in comparison to the DD1. So we're going to do some driving on AMS2 direct comparison because I'm in a CLK LM at Suzuka. A couple videos ago I did a 20-minute race here, so let's go ahead and get a drive in. Alright, so I drove probably like 20 minutes on ACC and Automobilista 2. I'll definitely say this feels smoother than my Moza does. But at the same time, you don't know how much of that is because this wheel is a little different. But I do know the force feedback. A lot of people like the force feedback on these. Now, of course, Josh is going to be off camera talking, but ecosystem to ecosystem, I priced out McLaren QR1, the metal one, and this plus V3 pedals and boost kit, and it was about $1,400, while the Moza was about 12-ish and some change. Moza I spec'd out was the CRP pedals, R9, and the KS wheel. But basically, from here to wheelbase to McLaren, they're basically the same thing, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I would say that it's very similar. So the thing that Fanatec has going for them right now is, and I bought into this, is that they have the Ready2Race bundle for the CSL DD. I know we're talking more of the higher entry level DD wheels right now. Mm-hmm. But as far as the Ready2Race bundle goes, if you want to get into a DD wheel, I think that price is kind of unbeatable right now.
Yeah.
What was it for? So they have a bundle right now that's, I think, you buy the base,
the Ready2Race.
Ready2Race. You buy a base and it comes with a wheel, and
if you buy a base, wheel, and pedals all at the same time, you're getting the base for $200.
And now they even have something for their wheels to where if you pair, so for instance, my R330 wheel, you guys might have seen in some of the other videos. The R330 wheel was $424, if I remember correctly. Mm-hmm. If you bundle that with their brand new hub that they just released, the CSL hub or something like that, mm-hmm, you get the wheel for $200 or something like that. That's hard to beat, guys. That's really hard to beat.
I also think it's worth pointing out with the Fanatec bundle, you get, at the end of the day, you can make this work on an Xbox.
Correct.
Moza, you can't do that. And then the other part of that is you can start with 5 And if you want to go to 8, you can go to 8
with the boost kit. Yep.
With the boost
You
kit,
sure
I know it gets a lot of flack, but the boost kit is it's a great way to be like, okay, let me get into it, get started. You know, you do your rig, you know, you do your pedal, there are other things that all you got to do is boom, as opposed to trying to sell it and switch over. But
if this was out when I first started sim racing, this would be the one that I got personally, just because of the price point, and you can upgrade to the 8 Newton meters as well.
okay.
I think that as far as mechanics go, the CSL DD compared to the Moza, I think is the same mechanics as my DD1 to the CSL DD. Now I know those Newton meters don't match up at all, and they're different in terms of class. But this is how I always explain the DD1 to people. I owned a GTDD. The GTDD and CSL DD are so smooth. They're so smooth. It's like freakishly weird how smooth they are. But the DD1 was just raw. At the same Newton meters, the DD1 just I felt more, maybe I would say. Obviously it's stronger, yeah, but it's not as smooth as this. So that's what's crazy to me is how smooth the driving is on this.
Yeah.
So the comparison from, you know, the Moza R9 to this is that same comparison. This is so smooth, but the Moza R9 is so raw, it feels like.
Wait till you try it with that
turn racing. Yeah, I can only assume.
I think the other part, the Fanatec, they got a lot going on as far as they just announced the new quick release, the new Clubsport wheel. So they got a lot going on, but none of that happens without Moza kind of pushing them. So at the end of the day,
totally agreed. Yep.
At the end of the day, I think you can't really go wrong either way. It's up to personal taste. Like, I know me and Josh are big RGB fans, being able to change it. I love racing at night in the dark. In the dark to feel like you're in the car more. So like, that's a part that plays for me too.
Competition is good at the end of the day. And the reason why is because the minute that Moza basically released, I think it was the R5?
They did the R5
the
bundle.
R5 bundle
for $600. You got everything.
Fanatec immediately released the Ready2Race bundle.
Yeah, you had, and I think it's just great for the hobby at the end of the day. And again, if you remove console compatibility from the equation, the Moza stuff is still cheaper, but I will give driving experience the edge to this. Honestly, if I didn't already have my CSL Elite V2 pedals, I probably would have just did this. And I was this close to doing it. But with that being said, I'm going to go back home and drive. I already got a ton of gameplay with the other wheelbase. So we're going to go ahead and close it out. We got a lot of sim video content. We were originally going to do it at my house, but it's like, you got to come over. So right now we got GT1 comparison, iRacing versus R Factor 2, and I'm just wrapping up this Moza R9 versus CSL DD with boost kit.
So to close out, at the end of the day, Fanatec, you going Fanatec or Moza? Without console compatibility. Console compatibility we have to throw out of the window.
If you remove console compatibility right now, I would still do the Moza.
Okay.
Only because, you know, this whole quick release thing, like, I like Moza's QR, I like Moza's RGBs.
Moza's QR goes with other wheelbases.
And their force feedback is really good too.
Yep, I agree.
It's really impressive how smooth this is. But if you're a kid and you want to get into Forza, I don't think you can go wrong with this. Like,
I don't think you can either.
You know, because I mean, that's why I
agree.
started. Besides Gran Turismo, like, I really got into it. It was on Forza. So, you know, you do Forza, it's like, oh man, ask for the bundle, you know, get your little grades up, ask for the bundle, and you can start with 5 and a desk clamp, and you can keep this for a long time.
I mean, prime example is this setup right here, guys. So this setup right here, and I'll break the totals down for you. got the seat for $100, got the rig for $125, picked up this is all secondhand, obviously. The monitor I already had, so I gave it to my brother. McLaren wheel and the base, I think we paid $450 for, $450 and then obviously we got a boost kit at the end of the day because he felt that 5 Newton meters wasn't enough for him. Luckily, I was able to make a deal to where I got the load cell pedals with it, and then we mounted the load cell pedal up to it. And I mean, this setup as it sits right now, I think is probably around $600 to $700.
Yeah, so you.
Then that's for the whole thing. That's for the entire rig.
You can't go wrong with that.
You can't.
So secondhand market.
You can't.
It's a lot of double-digit direct drive wheels out there. So
oh yeah. Oh yeah.
People move up. Like ain't no telling how long I'll be before I'm like, all right, well, time to go 20 double digits. You know, like I'm at 9 right now, but at some point.
How do you feel at 9?
I'm fine, honestly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what I was telling you guys with the DD1 is like, I have the headroom, but I don't use a lot of that headroom. You know what I mean?
Use
half, 11 to 12.
Yeah.
11 to 12. And I think 11 to 12 is the sweet spot, unless you're literally trying to simulate like Group C or Group B rally cars to where they're tearing off your arms or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, and we don't do that. We don't simulate that.
No, we don't.
We don't. So at the end of the day, my choice, obviously, after driving on both, I would probably pick the Moza as well, just because of the way the force feedback acts. But guys, you can't go wrong with either one of them at the end of the day. At the end of the day, guys, you really can't go wrong with any of them. If you are sitting there and you want to play on Xbox, you're not going to go wrong with this at all. If you're sitting there and you're a PC guy, you can't go wrong with the Moza. Yeah. At the end of the day, competition is good. Both of these bases are freaking sweet, man.
Yeah.
I was driving it the other day after coming off of my DD1, and I had a smile on my face when I was driving this base.
Yeah, I think that's everything that needs to be said. So we're gonna go ahead and end this episode right here.
Yep.
Apex out.
Maverick, if you had your choice of wheelbase, buddy, what would you go with? Yep. Same here, Mav.
I was surprised you said Moza.
Same here, Maverick.